Miss Hope is closing out the show for us, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I am not coming out of retirement. I'm going back into retirement after I get off of here. Make sure you are subscribed to the link in my bio. I also have a backup page on here. It's the same username with backup behind it. So if you are not subscribed to that page, make sure you go subscribe to that page as well. But the most important thing that you need to do is subscribe to the link in the bio. Okay. We have the intelligent, eloquent, very articulate Hope going to close out this show for us. So hopefully she says some great things. So Hope, I want you to start with, your thoughts on, the woman that has 3 kids and 3 baby daddies disqualifying this man because of his pants. Okay. And then after that, I want you to speak on what you think if you think a lot of modern women are valuing what's important in a man these days.
Okay. Thank you, Neville. Okay, so here's my thoughts, and I think my thoughts remain the same, right? Like, for me, it became a question mark when I was watching the take when you played it of like, okay, if you're going to devalue him based off of his pants, right? Because I watched just that clip. Now I have questions as to why you have 3 baby daddies. Like, what is your metric? How does that work? I have questions about that, just to be for real, right? At the same time, right? Multiple things can be true at the same time. When it comes to Black women, statistically in the United States, Black women in the United States are graduating from university at higher rates, and they are also starting businesses at higher rates statistically in the United States. So for me, it's like multiple things can be true at the same time. Do I think that, especially when it comes to Black men specifically and Black people as a whole in society, do I think that there is a huge pushback from places like the Heritage Foundation, etc., to devalue Blackness and put them as the thugs, the baby mamas, the welfare queens? Absolutely, right? At the same time, I think shows like this are kind of pushing that, right? Earlier, you and the other guy earlier were talking about how, oh, the guy was saying, oh, I think like she had a lot of baby mamas, she had a lot of baby dads, so she was like defending herself. And therefore, because of that defense, that's why she was going at him so hard. But for me, it's like, why are those the Black women being picked? When if you look at the data, that's not the reality of the average Black woman in America. For me, that just gives agenda to me personally. And for me, it gives agenda either way. Like when they're pushing Black men as, oh, they're like wife beaters, criminals, da, da, da. It just pushes agenda to me. That's what I see. I just see anti-Black propaganda, just to be fair. So for
Okay.
me, I think that when it comes to like modern Black woman or modern Black men, in reality, I think we are the dream of our ancestors. We are the people that are going to carry the reality of what must become through. The media is run by people that don't look like us. They're not like us, Kendrick Lamar. They're not like us. That don't look like us, that are pushing an image that's not real. Look at you, me, like Noble. Look at us. Look at Soso, right? Like we are the reality of Blackness, where we can get along, where we understand each other. We may disagree, we may have our things, but we are still cool. We still respect each other. There is a lot of like camaraderie. I don't think that the people that don't look like us are the people that should be deciding what's actually happening with the generation that is going to complete the long walk to freedom. Because in reality, we are the generation that are going to see freedom for our people. This is why they're so afraid. This is why they're pushing an agenda. For me, personally.
Okay.
Like, that's how I feel personally. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's real, to be real.
And then last thing is, do you think that men and women that have multiple kids by multiple men and women. Do you think that that is a mistake or that is a choice that they made?
I think so. For me, I think it's a very nuanced situation, right? Especially when it comes to like Black people, specifically for me, right? I think I come from a place of privilege. I come from a family where both my parents are college educated. I lived a good life, right? I think that when you have multiple baby daddies as a woman, it is important for you to vet the men and for you to have high standards, because I'm more interested in raising a generation of Black children that can actually win in the world. So when I look at these baby moms, and I look at their standards, I'm like, yes, maybe it is better that you have high standards, because I would much rather have a lot more Black people walking around the world that were raised in an environment of high standards than not. That's how I look at it. Like I don't necessarily like when I like listen to that lady when she was talking about pants, I thought that was very trivial, but I feel like when you become a parent, like I don't have children personally, but when you become a parent, the environment your child is raised in is the utmost importance, right? So you have to have higher standards than somebody like me that's childless. You have to make sure that the person that's going to come in and raise your children is going to raise them at a better standard. I'm not in a position to judge you as to how you got those children. And I'm not in a position to judge men that don't want to be involved in that would rather choose someone like me, right? If you don't want that, don't do that. I'm not going to judge you. Don't do that. Rather go find a woman like me, no children, doing the things, and marry that kind of woman. But for a mother with children, vet extremely diligently, because it is very important that the man you bring into your life will take good care of your children. Mistakes are mistakes, but I'm more interested in what you do with your future. So that's my take. But I don't think his pants being tight is the metric for me personally.
Okay. Are there any last words that you want to say, Hope, before we get out of here?
My last words are this. Noble, thank you very much for having me on your platform. Thank you to all of the people in the comments, especially Yogi. Hey, shout out Yogi. What's up? Yes. And I also just wanted to say, I just want to like articulate something so we all in real time can understand. I think the beauty of what this platform means for me is there is a very specific image of Blackness that is being pushed by people that don't look like us. And in this platform, what I really appreciate is how we not only challenge that image, but disprove it, because we are allowed to really go into the nuance and the minutia of what Blackness looks like for all of us as we engage with all these different ideas that are being pushed on us. And I love that. I love that we have this space. Like Noble, I appreciate you for creating this space where we can actually like challenge one another and we can all grow as people. And we can all like, yes, people that don't look like us are saying we are this. But in this space, it's like, no, this is what we really are. And what I see in this space is that we are intelligent. We are open to different ideas. We are open to negotiating with one another. We are open to listening to one another. And for me, that is the most beautiful thing in the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Hope. It was nice talking to you again. Much appreciated.
Always a pleasure.
You have a good night, all right?
You too.
All right.